The Baker and the Nun, The Immaculate Confession, Episode 18. It was a chaotic morning at the Immaculate Confession. Tony had just rolled out a new batch of donuts that he was calling donut diplomacy, and the name wasn't just a metaphor. It was a full-on international incident. Sister Mary stood behind the counter, scanning the scene as customers sipped their coffee, unaware that they were about to witness the beginning of the most sugar-coated political conflict in history. Tony, pacing in the kitchen, looked out from behind the counter, holding 2 donuts in his hand. "Sister, we've got a situation. The sprinkles are in contentious disagreement with the glaze over who gets the most coverage." Sister Mary sighed, rubbing her eyes. "Tony, the only thing we need coverage of right now is a muffin massacre to calm down this pastry-induced madness." Tony placed the donuts on the counter with a flourish. "This isn't just a pastry, sister. This is a movement. The donut diplomacy is about bringing together the most divided factions of the baked goods world." Just as Sister Mary was about to respond, a group of hipsters in leather jackets and skinny jeans walked into the bakery, all eyes on the newly christened donut of disputes. One of them, a man with a beard that looked like it could house small wildlife, stepped up to the counter and said, "I'm here for the revolutionary donut. The one that solves all the world's problems, right?" Tony grinned and handed him a donut. "You've got it, my friend. This is the donut of disputes. One bite, and you'll see how we're bridging the gap between sprinkles and glaze." It's a delicate peace negotiation in each bite. The hipster took a bite, his face lighting up as if he had just discovered the meaning of life, or at least a deep understanding of bakery-based diplomacy. This is amazing," he exclaimed. "I feel like I'm eating the very essence of peace. The sprinkles, they don't overwhelm the glaze. It's like a treaty between 2 opposing forces." He raised the donut triumphantly. "This is what the world needs. A peaceful pastry." Sister Mary crossed her arms. "Tony, I swear if this turns into another bakery peace summit, I'm locking myself in the fridge." Martha walked in at that moment, twirling her umbrella in the usual dramatic fashion. "Did someone say peace treaty? Oh, I love a good baked goods diplomacy. I'm here for it. Who's got the croissant of calm?" Tony raised an eyebrow. "Martha, I think you're getting a little too into this. We're talking about donuts here. Pastry peace talks haven't even been signed yet." Martha placed a hand to her heart. "Tony, don't you see? We're on the cusp of a pastry paradigm shift. We've got sprinkles, we've got glaze, and we've got, wait for it, a muffin faction that's been plotting its own takeover." She gave a serious nod. "You're in over your head, my friend." Just then, the muffin faction, led by none other than Kevin, who was still wearing his yoga pants and holding a tiny incense burner, strolled into the bakery, looking like he had just finished a deep session of muffin meditation. "You guys are going down," Kevin said, his voice serious as he grabbed a muffin and slammed it onto the counter like it was some sort of treaty negotiation document. "This bakery needs a muffin peace treaty. Sprinkles and glaze are all well and good, but muffins, they're the true warriors of the bakery world." Sister Mary let out a sound that was half sigh, half choke. "Tony, I told you. This bakery was a bad idea." But Tony, completely unfazed by the chaos, was now grinning from ear to ear. "Sister, don't you see? Donut diplomacy is happening right here, right now. The sprinkles and the glaze are talking peace. We're ushering in an era of understanding." Kevin, holding up his muffin like a flag of freedom, countered, "I think you mean muffin unity, Tony. There's no peace until muffins are the undisputed champions of this bakery." Martha threw her hands up. "Oh, we've gone beyond muffins, Kevin. This is sprinkle diplomacy. You can't just throw muffins into this. This is a delicate pastry ecosystem." Tony jumped in, trying to broker peace between the 2 factions. "Listen, I think we can work something out. You take your muffins, I'll take my donuts, and we'll all share the peaceful power of pastry." Kevin raised an eyebrow. "You really think muffins and donuts can coexist? Seriously?" Just as he was about to launch into a muffin-related speech, the door opened, and in walked Carmen, a local pastry critic who was known for her scathing reviews and her talent for delivering insults with the precision of a pastry chef wielding a rolling pin. She scanned the bakery with a practiced eye, then approached Tony. I've heard rumors of this donut diplomacy. And I must say, I'm skeptical. Donuts in a political climate? What next? Cupcakes running for president. Tony threw up his hands in defense. Look, Carmen, I just want to bring people together through pastries. We're bridging the gap between sprinkles, glaze, and muffins. Carmen finished with a dramatic roll of her eyes. I've heard. And quite frankly, I think the bakery world needs a revolution. Your cookies have philosophical aspirations, your donuts are starting international peace talks, and I'm just here for a plain croissant and a little peaceful quiet. Sister Mary, who had been quietly observing the whole circus unfold, finally raised her hands. Okay, that's it. I've had enough. I'm starting a petition for a cookie-free, muffin-free, donut-free zone right here in the bakery. Too late, Tony said with a wink. The bakery wars are upon us. You're either with us, or you're in the pastry resistance. Next episode, the pastry resistance, muffin insurrection, or the return of the croissant. The Baker and the Nun, the Immaculate Confession, episode 19. It was the dawn of a new day at the Immaculate Confession, but peace was nowhere to be found. The bakery had become the hotbed of a pastry revolution, and Tony was feeling the weight of his newfound title, Grand Diplomat of Donuts. Sister Mary, who had been counting down the minutes until her next Sabbath escape, sat quietly at the counter, sipping her coffee. She had given up on keeping order in the bakery because, honestly, who could? Every customer had a different opinion on which pastry should dominate the world. And today, the bakery was filled with a rare breed of customer, the pastry purists. Enter Marlene, the head of the local croissant collective and sworn enemy of all things non-buttered. Marlene, a woman whose hair was as golden and flaky as the pastries she loved, strutted into the bakery, eyeing the donuts with visible disdain. I can't believe I'm even in this sugar-coated disaster of a bakery, she huffed. Donuts are just the inferior choice. I mean, croissants? Do I need to say more? Sister Mary tilted her head and glanced at Tony. Oh. I think we're about to witness the great croissant confrontation. Tony, still wearing his diplomat apron, smiled and waved a friendly hand. Welcome, Marlene. You've come just in time for the Grand Donut Croissant Peace Summit. He gestured dramatically to a half-eaten donut and a half-eaten croissant sitting on the counter. We're all about inter-pastry cooperation here. Marlene sniffed the air, as if she could detect the unholy alliance between sprinkles and glaze from a mile away. This is a travesty, she said, her voice growing more dramatic by the second. The croissant is the gold standard of pastries. Flaky, buttery, delicate. And yet, this monstrosity. She pointed at the donut. It's like a fluffy lie wrapped in a ring of shame. Sister Mary nearly choked on her coffee. Tony, did she just call your donuts a fluffy lie? Tony, ever the diplomat, placed a hand on his chest. Marlene, I respect your croissant dedication, but I truly believe that peace between pastries is the key to saving the world. He paused and added, I mean, imagine a world where donuts and croissants could live side by side, like in harmony. Marlene raised an eyebrow. Harmony? With a donut? What is this, some sort of pastry utopia? Just as things were about to escalate into an all-out pastry brawl, in walked Carmen, the pastry critic who had now officially become the bakery's chief troublemaker. You guys are still fighting over donuts versus croissants? Carmen asked, raising an eyebrow. Seriously, that's so last week. The real pastry revolution is all about scones. She held up a scone like it was an Olympic gold medal. Scones have everything. Flaky, but dense. Sweet, but savory. They are the ultimate pastry. Tony's face lit up. You're right, Carmen. The scones time has come. This is the new frontier in pastry diplomacy. He turned to Marlene. Marlene, I propose a three-way treaty. The croissant, the donut, and the scone, together in perfect harmony. Marlene slapped her palm to her forehead. Tony, you've officially gone too far. A scone? The audacity. There's no place for a scone in my croissant collective. What next? You want to invite muffins to the party. At that moment, Kevin, leader of the muffin faction, appeared in the doorway with a battle-ready expression and his usual entourage of yoga-obsessed muffin lovers. Did someone say muffins? Sister Mary, now thoroughly entertained, raised both hands in mock surrender. Okay. We've got a three-way war on our hands. Croissants, donuts, scones, and now muffins? This is officially World War pastry. Kevin, holding a muffin high above his head, declared, "Muffins are the underdog pastry of the century." People look at muffins and think, oh, how sweet. But they don't know the power within. Muffins contain multitudes. And soon, they will rise like a perfect blueberry muffin in the oven. Tony clapped his hands, trying to calm the storm of pastry madness. Let's not lose sight of the bigger picture here. This isn't about who reigns supreme. It's about unity. The donut, the croissant, the scone, and the muffin, we all have something to contribute to the Pastry Federation. Carmen raised a skeptical eyebrow. The Pastry Federation? Tony, please. That sounds like something out of a baked goods sci-fi novel. Are you trying to make this bakery into a UN of pastries? Marlene leaned in, her voice dripping with sarcasm. Oh yeah, and I'm sure the donut delegates will be very helpful when it comes to foreign pastry policy. Tony, unfazed, shrugged. Well, if that's the case, then I think it's time for an election. Kevin gasped. An election? For pastry president? This is exactly what the world needs. Sister Mary threw her hands up in mock defeat. Tony, you've officially turned this bakery into a pastry parliament. She grabbed a muffin, a croissant, and a donut, and placed them on the counter in front of her. I'm voting for whoever offers me the best coffee to go with these pastries. As the group prepared for the first ever pastry election at the Immaculate Confession, a customer walked in and simply said, "I'll take a plain bagel." The entire bakery stopped and stared at him. "That's bold," Tony said. "A true rebel." The crowd murmured and Sister Mary said, "I think you just won pastry president." Next episode, the great pastry election: muffins, donuts, croissants, or bagels?
Polyspeaks for You incorporates voice control features that allow users to perform essential actions like opening, saving, and creating new documents, as well as interacting with font and document editing dialogues. This is particularly helpful for individuals with disabilities, enabling hands-free operation and more accessible content management. Below are some of the voice control functionalities designed for ease of use. 1. Voice-commanded document handling. Open document. Users can say commands like "open document," followed by the file name or location, and Poly will open the document for them. Save document. Commands like "save document as" or "save" allow the user to save their work without needing to manually click on buttons. Poly can also handle saving with specific file names or locations as dictated. A new document. A simple voice command such as "create new document" or "start new file" will initiate a fresh document in the app. A closed document. Commands like "close document" or "exit" can be used to close the current document. 2. Font dialog voice controls. Font style. Users can control font settings by saying "change font to Arial" or "set font at Times New Roman." This would change the selected text's font style. A font size. Commands like "increase font size" or "decrease font size" adjust the text size according to user preferences. A font color. Users can use commands such as "set font color to red" or "change font to blue" to personalize the text color. 3. Voice-commanded document editing. A text formatting. Commands like bold text, italicized text, underline text, or strikeout text allow users to edit their document easily. For example, saying "bold this text" will apply bold formatting to the selected text. Alignment. Users can command alignment changes by saying "align left," "align center," or "align right." A text insertion. A user can say "insert text," and the software will insert the given text at the current cursor position. A text navigation. Commands such as go to the top, scroll down, or move to the next paragraph enable users to navigate the document without the need for a mouse or keyboard. 4. Voice-activated help and assistance. Help commands. Users can ask questions like, "What can I do?" or "Help me with saving" to receive guidance on specific tasks. Polly can offer step-by-step instructions based on voice queries. A undo/redo. Voice commands such as undo or redo let users correct mistakes or revert to previous actions in their document. 5. Advanced features for accessibility. Speech recognition training. For improved accuracy, Polly can guide users through the Windows speech recognition training process, adapting to their voice patterns and improving dictation accuracy. A text-to-speech for editing. Users can have text read aloud to them while editing, making it easier to spot errors and refine their documents. These voice-controlled features make Polly Speaks for You an accessible tool for individuals with disabilities, particularly those with visual impairments, mobility issues, or other conditions that limit their ability to use traditional input devices. The hands-free operation helps users maintain independence and improve their document management and editing experience. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons to stay updated with more content. The creator of Polly Speaks for You has always been driven by a passion for giving a voice to those who need it most. Whether it's through text-to-speech technology or voice recognition, the goal has always been to create tools that help individuals, especially those with disabilities or learning challenges, communicate and interact with the world in a way that is meaningful and empowering. The stories shared, such as those about the sailors aboard the HMS Victory, are not just about reliving history, they are about the power of voice. Through Polly Speaks for You, the creator saw an opportunity to use storytelling as a medium to convey courage, strength, and resilience, much like the sailors of the past. These stories are intended to inspire and engage users, reminding them of the importance of their voices, both literally and metaphorically. The idea behind these stories is to showcase how technology, particularly speech technology, can be a tool for preserving history, while also empowering users with the capability to share their own narratives. By blending history with technology, the creator of Polly Speaks for You aims to demonstrate how powerful a voice can be in shaping and sharing our world, past and present. In a sense, these stories represent more than just entertainment. They are a way for the creator to give a voice to history, to connect with users in a deeply human way, and to remind them that their voices matter, whether they are telling their own stories or those of others. The creator's work in developing Polly Speaks for You is never just about making a functional tool. It was about making sure that every voice had the power to be heard. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like, share, and subscribe buttons to stay updated with more content. This content has been adapted from the powerful features of Polly Speaks for You, South Africa's leading accessibility software. Learn more at www.polyspeaksforyou.co.za. We invite you to support this meaningful dyslexic initiative, crafted and developed by an individual who personally understands the challenges of dyslexia.